This conference will now be recorded.
Okay, good morning, everyone. We're going to go through a quick introduction as usual with our online meetings. Today we have Councillor Shane Pelletier.
Morning.
We have Councillor Janine Boulanger.
Morning.
Councillor Curtis Clayton.
Morning. Nice to have you with us.
Councillor Ron Mamchuk.
Good morning, everybody.
And our Assistant CEO, Dominic Lemoine.
Good morning.
And myself, Mayor Chris Ewan. We will be doing our votes as usual online, where we cast them privately, and then the CEO will let us know if the vote is passed or not. And we will start the day. I will call the meeting to order. Do I have a mover?
Ron Mamchuk.
Second.
Janine Boulanger.
Thank you. Please cast your vote.
It was carried 5-0.
Thank you. Moving on, item number 2. Or sorry, we open the meeting at 9:02 a.m.
Thank you.
Item number 2, adoption of the agenda. Do I have a mover?
Councillor Clayton.
Thank you. Councillor Clayton moves it. Pelletier seconds it. Any additions, comments, questions from council?
Do we need to make note that we're going to remove you?
No. Yeah, I guess I could say I'll be stepping out, and Councillor Pelletier will be acting chair for item number. Let's see, item number here.
Number 4.
Item 7.1.3.
Sorry.
Yeah, that's okay. 7.1.3, but I'll announce that again. It's item 7.1.3. Other than that, no changes. I'll call for the vote.
The vote is carried 5-0.
Thank you. 3, adoption of the minutes. Do I have a mover?
Councillor Mamchuk.
Second.
Councillor Pelletier.
Thank you.
Thank you. So we are looking at passing the minutes for August 19th. Just a quick recap. We approved 2 conditional uses and 1 variance. We passed the first reading on 3 bylaws, as well as approved 2 subdivisions. Our tax sale will be adjourned until March 24th, 2021. And there was also a donation made to STARS for the Island Rescue event.
Perfect. Any comments from council?
No, okay from here.
Perfect. Okay, please cast your vote.
It was carried 5-0.
Thank you. Moving on to item number 4, committee reports and minutes. Do I have a mover?
Councillor Boulanger.
Second.
Councillor Clayton.
Thank you.
So we just received 1 committee report from Mayor Ewan. Looks like there was only a few committees that met: the WMR John Q, and the Southeast Commerce Group Inc. So if you have any questions, please direct them to Mayor Ewan.
Any comments from council? It was a pretty dry and short month. There was not much going on, so I don't fault anyone for not having reports.
I apologize. I should have put one in for the Crow Wing Trail and showed you the pictures of the bridge being installed. I'll do that for the next meeting though.
Thank you. Anything else?
As far as the chamber, their golf tournament, are we sending a full team?
I think the assistant CEO and CEO have sent out emails. I don't know if everyone's responded, but I think council is going first, and if not all council can make it, or the 4 members, then they'll go down the line: administration, public works, et cetera, et cetera.
Okay.
Correct?
Correct. As of right now, we have 2 councillors that have agreed to play. So if nobody shows interest, then yes, I'll go down to staff and see if we can find 2 more players, then we'll have a complete team, which I'm sure we can.
Yeah, like I'll be there for the day, so I don't need to play. So it's anyone else that wants to go.
I'd love to go, but I don't have clubs, so.
You can always borrow mine.
I'll think about it.
Thanks. Okay, moving on. I'll call for the vote.
Vote is carried 5-0.
Thank you. 5.1, accounts paid to be approved. Do I have a mover?
Counselor Mamchuk?
Counselor Clayton?
Thank you. Second by Counselor Clayton.
So we have two batches to approve here. So batch number 14101 in the amount of 1,507 and batch 14108 in the amount of 131,847. So I did a quick review and nothing jumped out for any concerns or issues. Were there any questions from council at all?
Not here.
Nope.
I
Not
hadn't
here.
sent anything in, Dominic, but if you can just note for a visa charge for the Murray Chevrolet for an oil change, can we look at getting them added as a client if we're going to be bringing the new truck back there for oil changes?
Okay, sure. Add them as a client.
Yeah, as
Like the, I think, yeah, I gotcha. Murray.
we can invoice those instead of putting them on the visa.
Sure. Sure, I'll make a note of that
Anything
and see what we can do.
Anything else, council? Okay, please cast your vote.
The vote is carried 5-0.
Thank you. 5.2, accounts not paid to be approved. Do I have a mover?
Councillor
Counselor
Belanger.
Clayton?
Councillor Belanger moves it. I didn't get the seconder.
Counselor Mamchuk?
Thank you.
Okay, so again, we have two batches, batch 14119 in the amount of 142,545 and batch 14120 in the amount of 4203. That's simply a utility refund. In the first batch, just a couple of the bigger items were the Interra invoice, the Red River Control for their levy of 35,000, as well as about 12,000 of damage deposit refunds.
Perfect. Any questions from council?
Yeah, I have some questions, and I apologize, Dominique, for not asking these earlier so that you could look them up. So if there's no answer right now, that's okay.
Okay.
I'll just go through my short list here.
Sure.
On page 4, the St. Adolphe Arena air scrubber for $908. Is that part of operations, or how does that work? Where we've got
Sure.
an arena and extra equipment for them?
Like I said on page 4.
Yeah, of batch 14119.
Okay. You're talking about the air scrubber?
Yeah, I
That's the-
understand it.
That's
I know what it is.
Yeah, that's the spray for the environmental.
So I'm
Go
assuming,
ahead.
yeah, so if I understand correctly, we might be paying for it just in order to save GSU, but I'm assuming that they will be responsible for that cost, but I can certainly check with George on that.
Okay. And then same page 5, Saint-Agathe River Path maintenance. And then I'm on the theme here, page 22, IDC pathways. So I see that we're maintaining the pathways. I'm just curious about the maintenance, and I've asked Public Works this before, but maybe if we could put a note to Public Works.
Sure.
There's no maintenance at the Grand Point pathways in the Grand.
Okay.
And the green team maintains the pathways at the park, but that path that was put up in the Grand it's not even walkable. So
Okay.
well, it needs gravel, it needs cleaning. Yeah, apparently it needs a lot of work. So I was just
Sure.
noting that there's work being into St. Agathe and IDC pathways, but we're being left out.
Sure, I'll touch base with Mike on that and see if it just hasn't been done yet or if it was completely forgotten about.
Great. And I noticed there is a cost, of course, for recycling. And I mentioned this as well too. I sent an email, but I hadn't heard a response regarding the Grand Point Park, if you could just check to see if they are on the recycling schedule.
Sure.
Because the green team put the recycling out, stood there, watched the truck drive by and wave at them. So
Oh, no, okay.
they're not picking it up. So just good to
Okay.
know if they're not.
I'll definitely double check on that. And if it's not, then we'll make sure to get them added for next week.
Okay. And the last item, page 19, as you mentioned, Dominique, the Red River Weed Control for $35,000. Do I understand that Ron and Curtis, are you guys meeting on that? Because there was discussions about that.
That's the annual fee that's paid every year, Janine. That's what both Salisbury and Rashad paid. That it's sort of that's the fee we pay to look after all the spring, and anything over and above that we have to pay accordingly. That's
Yes,
not
I understand.
Yeah, we tentatively have a meeting scheduled for this week, Thursday.
Okay, so we'll find out more about that board then.
Mhm.
Okay, thank you.
Keep you
That was
posted.
all. Okay, thanks.
That's everything?
That's it, yep.
Thank you. Okay, I'll have council please cast their vote.
The vote is carried 5-0.
Thank you. 5.3 council indemnities. Do I have a mover?
Councillor Clayton.
Thank you. Second.
Councillor Pilcher.
Thank you.
So we are looking at passing the indemnities for August. So I reviewed and no concerns on our end. Not sure if you had any questions between yourselves.
Any questions from council? Very slow month.
It was easy to look at.
Okay, seeing none, I'll call for the question.
The vote is carried 5-0.
Thank you. 5.4 payroll to be approved. Do I have a mover?
Councillor Mamchuk.
Thank you. Second.
Councillor Blanchet,
Thank you.
So we're looking at approving two payrolls, number 16 and number 17. Took a quick look and there's a couple of employees who have overtime, a few public works, some of the rec programming. I believe some of it has to do with the extra cleaning that we have to do. But again, no concerns on our end.
Perfect. Any questions from council?
No.
Seeing none, cast your vote, please.
Excuse me.
The vote is carried 5-0.
Thank you. Moving on, 6.1 bylaw 6-2020 St. Agathe CDI loan, second reading. Do I have a mover?
Councillor Mamchuk.
Second.
Councillor Clayton.
Thank you.
Great. So this one here, we passed the first reading at the last meeting in August. So we are just looking at passing the second reading. So this bylaw is once again authorizing a loan of funds to the St. Agathe CDI for the purpose of fiber optics.
Perfect. Any questions or debate from council? None. I think this is a great opportunity. We've kind of looked at this before. Better internet for all in the future. So it's great. I will call for the vote.
it's not open yet. Mine
Oh.
isn't anyway.
Maybe just refresh.
Yeah, because you're in Grand Point.
Yeah, that's why.
The vote is carried 5-0.
Perfect. Okay, 6.2 bylaw 6-2020 St. Agathe CDI loan, third reading. Do I have a mover?
Councillor Mamchuk.
Councillor Belanger moves it, second by Councillor Mamchuk.
Great, and now we are just looking to pass the third and final reading on that same bylaw for the Sandy Gut CDI.
Perfect. Final thoughts, questions, comments?
Yes, sorry, I do have one quick question. So this loan is to the CDI, and the CDI is just paying it back. It's not a debenture or anything like that, right?
Correct,
Correct.
so there's a schedule included.
Yep.
So it's a 5-year, and exactly, they would pay back their that amount that's owed every year.
Great. Okay, thank you.
Perfect. Anything else? Okay, I'll call for the question. Cast your vote.
The vote is carried 5-0.
Okay, new and other business. Dominic, are the first 3 here just for information, or are these to be read out?
So you want to jump to 7.11, those, and then
Okay.
there's 5 there.
Okay, 7.11, change to the Planning Act. Do I have a mover?
Councillor Clayton.
Thank you. Second.
Councilor Mamchuk.
Thank you.
Great, so this change has been brought to our attention because the Planning Act does not have any provisions regarding applying for a conditional use application that has been denied and going to the next meeting and applying for the exact same application. So there's nothing preventing that. And so we're just looking to have council lobby the province of Manitoba in order to maybe amend that Planning Act in order to allow a waiting period of about a year. And hopefully that would be subject to council's discussion.
Perfect. Okay,
That's good.
Yeah. Any other thoughts from council? Okay, go ahead.
I don't agree with this, but
Well, that's why we're in council. Why don't you agree with that?
I think with the changes the province is looking at, this will likely get fixed in the next process. If we had not had the opportunity to vote again on that last council meeting, we'd still have a couple of people looking to live in their trailer for a year.
Yeah, that's a fair point, but I think I think it's almost an abuse of time and the administration's time, especially when they continue to come and come and come and come. First of all, they're blowing their own money, which is fine. But second of all, our administration has other things to focus on than the same application coming back to the table. So I understand there's 2 points to that, but I think as long as we can lobby it, we're not saying it's going to happen. We're just saying this is some of the recommendations we'd like you to consider, and they might reevaluate it while they're making their bill 48 or 49, whichever one it is, and see what's the best options for something like this, for a position like this. I think that's just the way I'm looking at this.
The only thing I look at it, Mr. Mayor, is that we have people applying and some do their diligence like so great. They give all the information we need. And I think we as council administration, if we'd feel that the information is not suffice, we should either defer it and then why penalize people for a year if they don't have all the diligence done? That's only my opinion. Like,
Yeah, go ahead. Sorry, go ahead.
Like good example, like I have to say, like Shane, we had Gorouette and Sakaris. It was like 2 different, like night and day. One got the diligence 100%, the other just sort of, they went through the motions, but not concrete information.
Yeah, so I'll step in. I think maybe that's my fault as a chair for not including the option of deferral to think more on it. I don't think that's a provincial or administrative concern. I think maybe that's more of my due diligence of what are the options out there. So that's something to consider for sure. Instead of voting right away, we could defer it and really review.
I don't know what the rest of council thinks of that, but.
Well, I just think.
I hear your point.
Oh, go ahead, Curtis.
Maybe, sorry, go ahead, Jenny.
No, you go ahead.
No, I just, perhaps if there is a 1-year waiting period, the applicants will be more diligent when they bring it to council. That's all.
I was just going to say, I don't see the difference. There's no, the bylaw or whatever doesn't allow appeals to a decision, but in a sense, this is an appeal by reapplying. So to me, the system is just not consistent, and it's not, yeah, there needs to be some sort of waiting period, or I don't know. I think this is a correct direction that we're going in.
So would the onus be on the administration to make sure all the facts are in place?
And
Should
if
we
they're
have a
not, we
guide?
defer it. Yeah.
Pardon me?
And if it's not, then we defer it, like Chris said. We say there's not enough
Okay.
information to make a sound decision or a proper decision. Go back, come back to us. So
Mhm. Again, I don't know the answer. This is just a lobbying resolution. It's not saying we're changing anything, but maybe showing this to the province or to our lobbying body, which is the AMM, then I think that might be the route we take. And if there's municipalities that aren't in agreement with us, or they are in agreement with us, at least we'll have a little bit more of an understanding of where everyone sits. And if there's strength in numbers, then we go forward with it. And if there's not, then we know that Councillor Pelletier was right for the first time ever. So
it'll start a debate, and then we can find out how other municipalities are dealing with these types of issues as well. So
exactly. So yeah, like I don't want to kibosh this lobbying movement. If this was a complete decision maker, maybe it's something we really need to think about. But because this is just a lobbying resolution, I think we should continue on with it.
Yes, continue on.
Anything else? No? Okay, I'll have council cast their vote. I just lost it. There we go.
The vote is carried 5-0.
Thank you. Okay, 7.1.2 Rail Safety Week, September 21 to 27th, 2020. Do I have a mover?
Councillor Mamchuk.
Thank you. Second by Councillor Boulanger, I think I heard.
sure.
Yeah.
Great. So every year we do have a Rail Safety Week held across Canada, and this year it is between September 21st and 27th. So CN always sends us a request in order to ask council to adopt a resolution just supporting their efforts to raise awareness on rail safety.
Thank you. Any discussion from council?
Not here.
Sounds good.
Okay, I'll have council cast their vote.
The vote is carried 5-0.
Thank you. We're moving on to 7.1.3 Vice Presidency bid of the AMM. At this time, I'm going to step away and have Councillor Pelletier act as Deputy Mayor and chair this meeting for this one, as I'm declaring a perceived conflict of interest. So I will just step outside. Councillor Pelletier.
Morning.
Good morning.
Do we need a mover on this one, Dominic, or just straight into vote?
Actually, if you could just get a mover and seconder, and then I can kind of go into a little explanation.
Councillor Mamchuk.
Seconder?
Councillor Clayton.
Awesome.
Thanks, Janine.
Great. So the AMM is holding their elections for executive committee this year, and that will be consistent of the president and 2 vice presidents. And so this year, council would like to encourage and support Mayor Ewan in his bid for vice presidency. He does require resolution of council support, and so that is what we'd like to do for him today.
Thank you, Dominic. I'll call for the vote.
Great, and the vote is carried 4-0.
Start the campaign.
I guess this means he's going to stay in politics for a while then, hey?
Full timer.
I believe the term is 2 years. So.
2-year term.
Oh, okay.
I will go and see if he's ready to go back in there. One moment.
Thank you.
Next up, though, is president.
I'm here, I'm here, I'm here.
Right.
It's a close
Back.
one.
Oh, I bet.
Long debate,
Okay, we'll move on. Say that again, sorry.
long debate.
Yeah, I bet. Okay, 7.1.4, Grand Point Community Clubhouse construction. Do I have a mover?
Councillor Mamchuk,
Council.
Thank you. Second by Councillor.
Clayton.
Mamchuk, whatever.
Okay,
Sorry.
Sorry, was
Madam
that
Chair.
Clayton?
Mamchuk and Clayton take it. Yep.
Okay, great, thanks. So this one here, the GPHA did put out a tender for the purpose of a general contractor. They did receive several proposals, and they evaluated 3 of them. From those 3, they would like to recommend that we award Regent Construction as their general contractor, and they would be as per the terms of that tender document that was sent out.
Perfect. Any comments from council? Pardon me, from council?
Generally, the rundown on all the contractors that supplied a bid. Just wondering why we don't have that here.
Yes, I could have provided that for you guys. So there was Park West, the company that built the daycare and the fire hall. And there was a company out of East St. Paul, Ridgemark Builders. And then the company that was the low bidder was Regent Construction. There were 8 contractors on the tender call, and only 3 came to the plate with bids. There was about 2 or 3 local contractors that just did not respond. They said they were bidding at the very beginning, and I talked to each and every one of them, and they're all, yeah, we'll provide a bid, and then nothing came through after a lot of communication trying to get them to bid. But all 3 bids were very competitive, very tight. We ended up going through a post-tender addendum to get some cost-saving measures to bring the price down. And we were able to get approximately $100,000 brought down from that tender bid. And after we did the post-tender, the prices were even closer between the 3 contractors. So it was a tough decision. But Regent Construction has a project manager that lives in Grand Point, and they carried about 4 sub-trades that live in the area as well. So the combination of the price and the local input was the purpose for accepting their bid as the winner. I can send you the tender results. I'll send it to all of council with the spreadsheet and the breakdown. It's very simple, very quick to see. So just to give you an idea of the numbers.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's nice to see us being able to utilize local tradespeople. That's nice.
Actually, the electrical contractor that got the job was from Winnipeg, and there was about 5 or 6 electrical contractors in Grand Point that provided a bid, but they were all higher. So we actually went to the next highest electrical contractor, and the Regent Construction is able to secure them for an additional $1,900, and the GPHA has agreed to do that, just to keep that local electrical contractor, because having a trade like that on board with a community center, you want to have somebody that is going to be able to help you out down the road and assist you with any other additional work that needs to be done. And they've been good to us before. They've installed a few other things for free, so we've already got that $1,900 from them. So that was
Maybe you can turn them into board members too.
Yeah, exactly.
That sounds good, Janine. Good work.
Awesome. Anything else from council? Okay, seeing none, I'll call for the vote. Surprise, surprise, my computer's dying here.
We better hurry up.
Like 6%.
The vote is carried 5-0.
Thank you. 7.1.5, oh, here we go. 7.1.5, 2021 Board of Revision Appointment of Board. You have a mover?
Councillor
Councillor-
Mamchuk,
Thank you. Second.
Councillor Belanger.
Thank you.
So the 2021 Board of Revision will be held on October 7th, 2020 at 9 a.m. So every year we do have to appoint the board. This year we will be appointing 3 members at large. The first being Tom Tenhall, the second being Jeff Leclerc, and the third being Wayne Hadfield. They've all taken part of the board in previous years. We do also have to appoint a few council members. So I suggest appointing 2 this year to make a board of 5 members total.
I think
I'm sorry, I'd be interested if no one else wants to.
I think we talked about this last year a little bit and we wanted to switch it up. I do believe Councillor Belanger, did you wanted to chair it? Was that the way it was?
Yeah, I was on it last year and was going to chair it, but because there were no appeals, there was no meeting, so.
So why don't we do it this way? I think Dominic, sometimes people do request French speaking council. Is that true?
Correct, yes. So I think we've had it once. I don't know if it was actually, I think it was last year where they requested it to be fully in French. So we had to do a second board. It doesn't happen
Oh, that's right.
very often, but it could.
So why don't we-
for right now, yeah, just the one board.
Yeah, so why don't we do this? I propose Councillor Mamchuk and Councillor Belanger, whoever wants to chair can, but I will step down from it this year. And then if there's a French speaking board, I don't mind stepping back in.
Well, Jeff Leclerc he speaks French.
Does he speak French? Okay, good.
He does, Dominic, doesn't he?
I believe so, yes.
Any other councillors looking for that position? It's quite dandy and amusing.
This year is
Something
not
like
a reassessment year, so if we do have a board, it's usually quite short. There's not
Okay.
usually that many appeals.
It's a good year to learn.
Yeah.
It's an off year.
Yeah.
So are we going forward with Councillor Mamchuk and Councillor Belanger?
Yep. Okay, I'll call for the vote.
Great. The vote is carried 5-0.
Perfect. Okay. What's 7.2? Is that nothing?
Oh, that's just if there was someone who would want to do a notice of motion.
Oh.
So no, yeah, you can
No.
skip that to adjournment.
Sorry, 8 adjournment. Do I have a mover?
Councillor
Councillor
Pelletier.
Councillor Pelletier moves it, second by Councillor Mamchuk. Councillor Mamchuk, you seconded that?
Yes,
Yes, thank you.
you're welcome.
Okay, I'll call for the vote.
Okay, the vote is carried 5-0.
Thank you. We'll close the meeting at 9:34 a.m. Thank you very much. And remember, council meetings are back to normal. Tuesdays, the first Tuesday of each month, and the third Wednesday of each month. Thank you, everyone. Have a good day. Stop
you.
recording.
You too.